Norway voted in favour of the resolution just adopted. We commend the Arab group for its efforts to act in good faith and search for a compromise on some of the most sensitive issues. We would like to highlight two important elements that we wanted to have included in the resolution. First, Norway voted in favour of the amendment proposal introduced by Canada. We regret that the amendment was not adopted as part of the resolution. Norway has unequivocally and strongly condemned the terror attacks by Hamas in Israel on 7 October. We have also condemned the taking of hostages, and we demand their immediate and unconditional release. Second, we would like to reiterate that Israel has a right to defend itself against armed attacks by Hamas. We emphasize in this regard that self-defense measures must be necessary and proportionate. Despite these shortcomings, Norway decided to vote in favor of the resolution in its entirety. This decision has been made in light of the gravity of the situation on the ground, in particular regarding the humanitarian catastrophe we see evolving in Gaza, as well as the importance of advancing a joint international message at this critical juncture. I thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of Norway and now invite the distinguished representative of Israel to take the floor.
Today is a day that will go down in infamy. We have all witnessed that the UN no longer holds even 1 ounce of legitimacy or relevance. This organization was founded in the wake of the Holocaust for the purpose of preventing atrocities. Yet, the spectacle we just saw proves beyond a doubt that the UN is committed, sadly, tragically, not to preventing but ensuring further atrocities. Israel just endured the largest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, and according to a majority of the so-called family of nations, Israel has no right to defend itself. The eradication of Hamas's terror capabilities, the only way. Yet this resolution does not even name Hamas, as if this war started on its own, not once. Even when discussing our hostages, the drafters could not even bring themselves to name the Hamas terrorists responsible for this blatant war crime, not even once. It is the duty of this body to call out murderous terrorists by name, not hide them behind empty words. Why are you defending murderers? Why are you defending terrorists that deliberately beheaded children and abducted babies? What is going on here? This must make each of you ask yourselves what the true aim was when this resolution was submitted. Was it to bring about a solution? Or was it to tie Israel's hands from defending itself? Islamic Jihad rocket that hit the hospital parking lot, and that the number of casualties is far lower than Hamas's reports. Yet you continue to echo these lies. Shame on you. Shame on you. The truth holds zero importance in this body. Zero. Today, the majority of the international community has shown that it prefers to support the defense of Nazi terrorists rather than support the law-abiding state of Israel to defend its civilians. Anyone who is truly interested in preventing violence shouldn't vote for resolutions protecting terrorists. And whoever truly wants to prevent more violence should be calling on Hamas to lay down their arms, turn themselves in, and return all hostages. If this were to happen, the war would end immediately. This is a dark day for the UN and for mankind.
Mr. President, distinguished delegates, today, here in the General Assembly, in the world's parliament, countries of principle and conscience, peace-loving nations stood up and proved that the international community has not forsaken humanity, has not forfeited international law as the universal rules they apply to all, has not forsaken the promise, the purposes and principles of the United Nations, and has not abandoned the Palestinian people in these darkest hours, nor forsaken their just cause for freedom and justice. We are grateful to all the countries that voted in support of the draft resolution tabled by Jordan and co-sponsored by 46 countries, expressing by an overwhelming majority support for this unequivocal call for an immediate humanitarian truce, for a halt to all attacks on civilians, for the protection of civilians, for compliance with international law, including humanitarian and human rights law, including the release of all civilians held captive, and has called for immediate and unimpeded humanitarian assistance that is so desperately needed by our people in the Gaza Strip, where Israel not only continues its aggression, but is escalating its indiscriminate and savage attacks on innocent Palestinian children, women, men, as we speak. The occupying power has launched its ground invasion in the darkest of Gaza, where it has cut electricity, internet, and all communications. And yet, here, there are still some who refuse to equally and unequivocally condemn these war crimes and crimes against humanity being perpetrated by Israel.
The result of the vote is as follows. In favor, 88, against 55, abstentions 23. Having failed to obtain a two-thirds majority of members present and voting, Draft Amendment A/ES 10 L26 is not adopted.